Alright guys, what's up? How's everybody doing? Thanks for the support on the previous video, by the way, but the Sonic Colors discourse ain't over yet. It is far from over, far from done. So before I get into some juicy ass details in this video, be sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Be sure to hit that notification bell to join the notification gang. You know what? I need to start calling you guys the A Squad. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about it, because it's already on some of my shirts on my merch website. I say A Squad, but I never say it. I don't know. Let me know, guys. Be honest. Does that sound cringe or does that sound cool? A Squad. If it does, let me know. I don't care. No hard feelings. You know, I just want to know. But anyway, not only has the Metacritic scores on Sonic Colors Ultimate gone downhill, I mean, just take a look at them here, but the user reviews have actually opened now. They opened, I think, since last night or yesterday. So loads of people have been flocking Metacritic to give their peace of mind on Sonic Colors. Now, at a point, Sonic Colors Ultimate user scores on the Switch went as low as 3.3 out of 10 last night. But I guess some other people are spamming good comments or good reviews on it, so now it's gone up to 5.3. It was 5.5 right before I started recording. Now it's 5.3. This shit is fluctuating, guys. It's fluctuating. And right now there's 30 reviews so far, so it's 5.3. Out of the consoles, Xbox One was the least glitchy. They're all glitchy as hell, but the Xbox One is the least glitchy. At least none of them have that long Sonic 06 loading times as the Switch version. That's unforgivable. The Wii version is like 3 seconds, but the Switch is like 20 seconds at least. Shit's crazy. But yeah, man, the amount of copium from the SCUDS, the Sonic Colors Ultimate Defense Squad, is insane. You can just see it in the comments here. This one comment that I have to put because it's hilarious. It says here, and you can tell the English, the grammar shows that it's just a kid. But it says here, if anyone says there's bugs and glitches, then he's lying to make Sonic look bad. Do not listen to them. Okay. Now, as for me, I still haven't beaten the game. I still haven't beaten Colors Ultimate because it's just too irritating to play. You know, never have I been this disgusted and irritated in playing a Sonic game before in my life. I don't think so. No. I mean, this is worse than the Sonic 06 glitch. At least those glitches weren't triggering epileptic seizures. They were just frustratingly funny. At least an experienced player could cheese their way with the glitches, like the ball puzzle level, you know, with Silver the Hedgehog. Well, Colors Ultimate, there is no cheesing. You know, just pray to God that your game save file doesn't get corrupted so you don't lose your progress if you're trying to 100% it, or it doesn't trigger any seizures if you're epileptic. What a fucking mess, you know? I mean, as far as seizures go, the only Sonic game I can think of that had a glitch was like this weird visual glitch that was in Sonic Lost World. I might show a screenshot of it or not. I don't know if I can find it, but it's in the pinball section in the casino night or whatever that level is in Frozen Factory. And yeah, it can glitch out and just have a huge bunch of flashing lights. That's the only time that happens, and that's crazy. But anyway, I'm not here to shit on Sonic Colors Ultimate again. You guys already got the point. You got the message made in my previous video. I want to talk about Iizuka specifically and how things aren't entirely his fault. But first, I want to elaborate on Sonic Generations Ultimate that I mentioned briefly in my previous video. Now, what I said in that video and what the insider told me that he doesn't know if I've heard, but Generations was being considered for a remaster. It's not 100% that we're getting Sonic Generations Ultimate. That's being confirmed by Sega, and I know that they are watching to see how well Sonic Colors Ultimate sells. Because let's be honest, if Sonic Colors Ultimate bombs completely in sales, and of course reviews, but sales especially, they're not going to do a Generations Ultimate. They just might port it. Worst comes to worst, they're just going to port it, but they're not going to do a remaster like they did in the same vein as Colors Ultimate if that game does bad in sales. But it's being considered. The person who told me said he's going to make an article on that, but he's just waiting to get confirmation from the higher ups and from Sega first. So once he gets confirmation on that and that gets posted in the future or sooner or later, I'm just going to say I told you so, because other Sonic tubers are starting to cover this too. Now, as far as an Unleashed Ultimate goes, I never said that. There is no proof of that. Nowhere did Sega ever say they're going to make a Sonic Unleashed remaster. I don't even think they're going to port it because, you know, that game was part of the quote-unquote dark age, and it was delisted by Sega, but, you know, they're not going to remaster that If they remaster that, that's going to be way after Generations remaster. This article I want to read here. This article here. Now it says it's a rumor, but they're going to prove it soon. It's SoA City. It says new Sonic Colors Ultimate Development Details leak. It says these new details are from a community member named Blaze Hedgehog, who is very reliable and is a credible member of the community. Parts of Blaze Hedgehog's details also line up with what we previously heard, and we posted the details before. So yeah, Prem actually covered this one before, the previous one about movie Sonic being planned to be an optional in-game skin, which happened. It was just the boost aura. So yeah, so let's get straight into this. Now, he says, we heard Sonic Colors Ultimate was planned to be announced in September 2020, which was a year ago, followed up by a December 2020 release, but we also heard it was delayed due to being unplayable. So, Sonic Colors Ultimate was originally supposed to come out in December of 2020 before it got delayed. So this is how I learned from an insider just a month later, in January of 2021, that Colors Ultimate was coming out. But I was told to play it off as a prediction and a speculation in order for the info to not get traced back to him, because he could get in trouble. You guys need to understand, some people can lose their jobs over this. So when they tell me to be coy about it and all that, that's when I played off as a prediction and stuff, because ain't nobody going to track it back to them. But if I say so-and-so told me that this is, and that person's going to get in trouble. It's kind of like these Spider-Man No Way Home leaks. They caught Andrew Garfield in 4K dressed in his Spider-Man gear, you know, behind the scenes, like shooting for No Way Home. But he wasn't going to say, okay, you guys got me, I'm in the movie. He said, it is important that I tell you that I am not aware how I'm in this movie. He said something like that. It sounded very, the wording was very smart. So it's like, you can't get me in trouble because I'm not saying I'm not in the movie, but at the same time, I'm not saying I am in the movie. So you guys can choose to believe that or not. I really don't care. And that's exactly what I had to do with Generations Ultimate. Now it says Sega were preparing a Sonic Colors remake remaster in 2019, likely originally targeted at a Christmas 2020 release date. So basically, like I said before, Sonic Colors Ultimate began production in 2019. So it was only going to have a year production at the time when they were going to release it, but they decided to delay it, and it's been in production for 2 years, but we're still getting these game-breaking glitches. So clearly 2 years wasn't enough, or maybe it was just how they managed their time, because Sega has showed again and again that it does not matter how long they spend making a game, like Sonic Forces took 4 years. If they don't spend their time wisely polishing the game, it can still come out a broken mess. So like I said, it was supposed to come out Christmas 2020. Apparently, a performance evaluation revealed the game was in no state to release. Following this, apparently Blind Squirrel were brought in to rescue the project. So Blind Squirrel came in the last minute to try and rescue the project. And it's likely why Sonic Colors Ultimate is a mix of the original game code and an implementation of Godot. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Godot bolted on over the top of it, because you know, Prem also explained that whole Godot controversy where they weren't credited for their engine being used in the game. That was kind of scummy, but yeah. So he says, while these details would certainly provide some insight to the state of the game, Blaze Hedgehog has clarified these details aren't definitive and are a collection of rumors. These details also haven't been officially confirmed by either Sega or Blind Squirrel. Of course, they're too busy dealing with the bad rep, and should be regarded as a rumor. Following the reports of issues with the remaster, Sega has stated they are listening to feedback and are currently working on more upcoming patches, which will hopefully address the remaster's issues. So I mean, it's very sad what's going on with Colors Ultimate, but the truth is coming out, and I know after this video more and more stuff will be uncovered. This is going to be another Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, where we're going to learn more news about Blind Squirrel Entertainment. There might even be a documentary on it, because this is insane. How this could happen to a good Sonic game is just sad. Now, time for the nitty gritty, talking about Iizuka. Now, Takashi Iizuka has been blamed for a lot of things. You know, a lot of people like to accuse him of favoring nostalgia like Green Hill, Classic Sonic, and also favoring the Wisps over everything else. And while that is true, somewhat, there's a reason why he does that. It's because that's the only thing he's allowed to do in Sega. Now, the same insider told me other things. I'm not going to show any DMs. I'm going to be very, very indirect as I can be with this video, because I don't want to risk it. But Iizuka was the reason Shadow was even playable in Sonic Forces in episode Shadow. Sonic was never supposed to be playable for this long. You know, he was never supposed to be. So yeah, Iizuka was the reason for Shadow being playable. And that's why it felt so forced, no pun intended. because, you know, he had to push hard for it. You know, I never knew that. I never knew that at all, but he's been wanting Shadow to be playable for a very long time, and, you know, they were able to squeeze him in Sonic Forces, but he played very similar to Sonic. Now, Sonic Mania. Now, this is another bombshell I did not know. Alright, so Iizuka also wanted some other characters to be playable in Sonic Mania as well. Now, I can't really say them here. I can't really, you know, state them verbatim in this video because I don't want it to get traced back to this guy, but I'm going to give you guys some hints so you know. 2 hints. They are classic characters, so they're not from anywhere in the adventure or modern era. They are classic characters, and they are just like Sonic. 2 characters, classic, similar to Sonic. Now, if you guys want to know about it, if you want to guess, and you guess correctly, I may heart your comment or something like that, but just think about it. 2 characters from the classic era that are like Sonic, just like Sonic. That's all I'll say. But yeah, in fact, one of those characters that many of us thought was going to be and should have been playable in the game, one of the main reasons why the game was delayed until 2017, in the August 2017. I had no idea because Sega was trying to remove every trace of that character so he wouldn't find it in any of the files. You know, modders are good, so for the PC they wanted to make sure none of those files were going to be uncovered there, kind of like what's happening in Colors Ultimate. Modders are discovering files that weren't supposed to be in there. That is why. That's all I'll say. I think I said too much. That's it. So, you know, there's a reason why Iizuka talked about wanting to remake the Sonic Adventure games. Remember, he mentioned about wanting to remake Sonic Adventure. He talked about that once, and we all thought, oh, he's just adventure baiting, but that's not entirely true. You know, he really wanted to do it, but Sega scrapped it. The adventure remakes were scrapped. And you know what? Maybe that's a good thing, because after what happened to Colors Ultimate, maybe we don't want to see the adventure games get tarnished any further. Who knows, you know? All we can do is talk about the what ifs. But basically, Sega scrapped a lot of things. You know, there was actually even going to be a Dimps 2D Sonic game that also got scrapped. I know, right? Turns out that was true, but it was misconstrued by some people like Zippo. But here's the thing, you know, Sega always screws over their third parties. They always do, so it's no surprise. And let me list them in here for you guys. Sega should either stop making Sonic games and Rangers bombs, or they should at least stop working with third-party companies because they've screwed over every single one and threw them under the bus. They did that with Dimps. Dimps' last Sonic game was a terrible one, Lost World 3DS. Remember when Dimps used to be making original Sonic games like the Advanced games, the Rush games, Senzaru games? Need I say more? Sonic Boom, Shatter Crystal. Now they came back, they made a comeback with Fire and Ice, which was fairly decent. It was a good game, but still that game was overshadowed immensely by Lego Sonic and all the news of Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces. So yeah, they kind of just went away like that, which was sad. And we all know about Big Red Button. You know, Big Red Button, Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. I'm actually surprised they're still going on right now. You know, they're struggling. They're trying to find some people. You know, they're up for hiring anyone, but yeah. Sumo Digital, they did the great All-Stars games. You know, they did Sega, Sonic and Sega All-Stars, All-Stars Racing Transformed, and then Sega had them do Team Sonic Racing, which they did, which wasn't a bad game, but it was mediocre. It was a mid game compared to their previous two, and the online was terrible. It had a lot of glitches, and it was just ignored and forgotten by Sega in favor of the mobile game. We already know Blind Squirrel's ordeal, and last but not least, BioWare with Sonic Chronicles, the Dark Brotherhood. So, I mean, Sega has done this to so many others. I'm not saying Sonic Team is any better just because they're a first-party company owned by Sega, because they've been making bad Sonic games too since after Generations. So it's just sad what Sega's doing. You know, I'm going to start training myself to not call 2005 to 2010 or 2010 the Dark Age anymore, because it really doesn't make sense when you think about it. There were more good Sonic games in that time span than 2010 to 2015. And I'm not just talking about mainline titles, since people and critics want to ignore handhelds. You know, just think about it. 2005, 2010. You know, sure, we had Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, The Secret Rings, and Unleashed and all that, but we also had Rush Adventure, the Rivals games, you know, some strong handheld titles. And what would you call this age? It's definitely not the Golden Age, like 91 to 2001, nor is it even a Silver Age or Bronze Age or whatever you want to call it, because that's being too generous. Like, it's the critics that coined that era, the Dark Age. They're the ones that coined that term. And since most of us millennial Sonic fans were either kids or teenagers, I was a teenager, and Gen Zs were either babies or kids, we just went with it. So sure, the mainline Sonic games weren't that good, but the handhelds were solid, consistently. And if you want to talk about real Dark Age, let's talk about 2015 to 2020. How many good Sonic games have we gotten in that time period? Only one, Sonic Mania. Arguably two, Sonic Mania and Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. Don't bring up Lego Dimensions, Lego Sonic Dimensions, because that's not owned by Sega. That's not a Sega game. But like, okay, let's say I started my channel in 2011. If I started my channel in 2001, let's say YouTube existed back then, and I started from 2001 to 2011, 10-year period, there would have been so many good games for me to play as a Sonic fan, starting with Sonic Adventure 2 in 2001, ending with Sonic Generations in 2011. But I started my channel in 2011, which started with Sonic Generations and ending with Sonic Colors Ultimate. Just look at how many bad games came out in that time period. You know, after Sonic Generations, everything was just either mid or poor, besides Mania. So I don't know, guys. I think we really need to start reevaluating what Dark Age really means. Now, another thing Iizuka is blamed for is making Sonic games easier. And it was explained because of his children and Team Sonic Racing. Let me put the clip right here.
So what made you and your team want to focus on making a racing game around that mechanic?
Well, it's funny because when we started doing it, obviously it wasn't like, you know, like an idea of like a cooperative racing game was not really a thing. These days it feels like it's almost becoming like a genre of its own. But you know, the initial idea came from Sega, Iizuka-san at Sega, who's kind of the head of all things Sonic at Sega. He had an idea that he wanted to explore. He wanted to have the ability to play the game with his children, play a racing game with his children, and they're not as good at games as he is, and he wanted to have a racing game where he could still have like a positive experience with them. You know? And you know, I understand that, you know, playing games with people who are not as, you know, who don't spend their lives playing games like, you know, we do. You know, it's nice to be able to play games with them and still be able to, you know, do fun, you know, have fun with them. And when you play Team Sonic Racing, you can play the game together, play as a team, and win as a team. So you know, it becomes a really positive experience for you.
So yeah, it's true. You know, Iizuka does want games to be a little easier so he can have fun playing them with, you know, his kids and people who aren't that good with games. And I'm sure tail save and removal of game overs and all that is because of him. But I'm not entirely against that. You know, we all need easy modes for less experienced gamers, but don't make that mandatory. It should be optional, but whatever. Now, it's true Sonic Colors is Iizuka's favorite game, but it's not because of the wisps. That's what the fans claim and how people like to make fun of him, but it's because that's the first Sonic game where Iizuka had the most control. I know he directed Sonic Adventure 1, but he didn't have that much control over that. So let's not put all the blame on Iizuka. You know, he doesn't represent Sega as a whole, and most things are out of his control. Think of it like Marvel Studios and Disney. You know, Kevin Feige does run Marvel Studios and the MCU, but Disney is still the one that calls the shots at the end of the day. They're the ones that fired James Gunn, if you guys remember that whole ordeal, when they fired him a couple years ago, and then he wasn't going to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3 until, you know, all the actors in that movie were basically protesting, and they said they were going to walk if he doesn't come back. And then DC used that opportunity. Warner Brothers seized that opportunity to hire James Gunn to direct the Suicide Squad. And then Disney was like, oh, wait, okay, you can come back. And yeah, and that's how they got James Gunn back. So it sucks. Kevin Feige wasn't even aware that James Gunn was fired. But anyway, that's all I have to say before I start rambling. What do you guys think about all this? Let me know down in the comments below. And be sure to buy you some Sonic Rebound stickers for Season 2. They look so good. People have been posting pictures of how it looks like on their laptop and all that. It's pretty sweet. So if you want it, let me know. But that's all I have for now. So until next time, I'm out.